Hey, everybody, and welcome back into the Direct Selling Accelerator podcast. Now, I'm particularly excited to share with you a very special person today who I had the pleasure of meeting a few months ago. You guys have heard me speak about SeneGence and the amazingness of this makeup and this lipstick that just does not come off. Well, today I've got the pleasure of chatting with Shelly Pease, who has been a consultant with SeneGence for 4.5 years now. Did I get that right, Shelly?
Yes, that's correct.
And Shelley's going to share with us some really exciting stuff today, all on mega parties or multi-host parties. We're going to jump into that in a minute, but first I just want to say huge hi to Shelley because you're going to see how bubbly and special this amazing woman is as we go through our chat today. So hi, and thank you for joining us today, Shelley.
Hello.
So I got the pleasure of watching Shelly present at their recent conference as well. And when I saw her present, I thought I've got to get her onto the podcast to share some of her beautiful personality with all of you and some of her amazing tips and skills. But I want to start off today, Shelly, by maybe just getting you to introduce yourself a little. Tell us a bit about your business. Tell us a little bit about SeneGence. Yeah, jump on in and give us a bit of info about you.
Oh my God, I could go on forever, but all right. So yeah, I've been in with SeneGence for about 4.5 years. It's my first multi-level marketing experience. I was never involved with, hadn't had experience with. It's been a very positive experience. I love this company, and it's actually turned into something that I didn't expect it to. I didn't plan to be here. I had a whole different life plan, but life takes us on all these different journeys, doesn't it?
It sure does.
My husband is a FIFO worker, so he does fly in, fly out, or drive in, drive out, and he's away for week on, week off. And I've got two little boys, well, not so little. Carmichael's 14 and Archie's 7 almost. So that's always super fun to juggle. And I also have a part-time job at the moment. I didn't for a while. I was doing my SeneGence full-time. But with COVID, because I was doing so much in-person stuff, and I think we'll touch on that a little bit soon.
We will.
I was putting a lot of my eggs into the in-person basket,
Yep.
and not as much into the online. Even though I do a lot of online, I had a lot of my eggs in the in-person basket. So when COVID came along, I was like, oh, I probably need to just go and get a few extra little dollaroonies in the bank while I build up my online presence again.
Yep.
Because, like as always with this style of business, we're always ebbing and flowing and going different directions. Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell.
So how have you found, because you're obviously a really busy mum, you've got hubby who is there sometimes, not there others, and then you've also got your part-time job that you're doing as well as your direct selling business. And how have you found the transition from into online? Because I've only ever seen you with the online, and every time I go to my Facebook, there's Shelley's beautiful face, and you are so personable with all of the videos that you do. So I can only imagine that it's been a natural growth process for you with the virtual. How has that all gone, and where is it at now? Are you doing even better than you were before? Are you where you were at before? What's happening for you?
Yeah. In the beginning, like 4 years ago, coming into the online world was terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And I always looked back at my things and was like, oh, that's rubbish. It's crap, delete it. But someone said to me, don't ever delete it.
No, never
Just
delete.
leave it. And you can, I know, just leave it, and you can kind of watch back later and see how much you've grown, or you can watch it back and learn your lessons. But like I said before, I'm always up and down, and I've always been online. I've always had an online presence. I do find that we can connect really well with people outside of our space because, being in towns, well, there's, it's a big town, but it's also a little town. There's only so much I can do here. Whereas with the online, I can reach a lot more people. I've got so many customers and friends and teammates in all across Australia. It has been a progression to get comfortable online. And there are days where I'm like, oh my God, you're rubbish. No one wants to see you. No one wants to listen to you. Who do you think you are? Like, we're all going to have those days. But I just suck it up and get on with it, because I think, like,
Yeah.
if I just get my face out there and talk to people and relate to people, and get my information out, and make friends as well, because I think that if you're not making friends with the people that you're talking to or relating to them on some level, then you're not going to have much luck. You've got to be real. You've got to be the
Yeah.
real you and show warts and all. But it has gotten, since I've invested more time into my online because of the COVID, I've seen a massive increase.
Yeah. And
Mm.
we were just having a little bit of a conversation about that raw side of things before. And you've been good enough to agree to sort of dive into this a little bit today. But something that has been really concerning me of late is that we're putting on this front, these faces at the moment, and we're saying, look, I don't want people to know if I'm struggling. I don't. It doesn't feel like it's okay to be struggling. Particularly, we compare ourselves to others. So, I get on camera most days, and, the assumption is, well, Sam's got a smile on her face. She's got makeup on. She appears to be wearing clothing. She's obviously doing better than me. But the challenge is that I think there's a lot of value in us taking the walls down, actually sharing with people what is going on for us too, because we're all struggling. We're all going through a really tough time at the moment, all in many, many different ways. And it's okay to not be okay at the moment. And you and I were just having a little conversation about that a moment ago, where you were sort of sharing that you've got to get on camera anyway, but you were telling a little story about a rough time that you went through, and I thought it might be really great if you were willing to share a little bit more of that with our listeners today, because again, I think it's really relatable. And I just, as you told me before, my heart kind of went, oh, it's not just me. She gets it, and there's someone else going through it too.
Oh, definitely. So what I was telling Sam was, a couple of years back, um, I'll try and keep this as short as possible, but hubby and I were trying to have another baby, and it wasn't working. We kept falling pregnant, but I kept losing them. I lost 11 babies in total, which was pretty that. But anyway, it is what it is. We've dealt with it. We've moved on. However, there was this one day that I had found out that morning that the pregnancy was not going to progress and that I was going to lose this baby. And I was scheduled to do a live video on one of my virtual parties. And my family, because I took it really rough, because I had high hopes on this one. I took it really rough. And my family was saying, just cancel the party. Don't do it. Don't show up. Like, they'll understand. And I thought to myself, they will, but I've I've committed. I've made a commitment to them, and I've made a commitment to myself that I want to do this. And the beauty of having this online situation is that I can show up for those couple of minutes and do what I need to do, um, and 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 then I can just shut it down and then go back to having my feelings and feeling on my emotions. So what I did was I was still in my pajamas at like 3. I think I told you. It was,
Yeah,
you got to do what you got to do.
you
I
do.
put a nice sparkly top on. It was Melbourne Cup Day, so everyone was, all dressed up with their things. So I just put a sparkly top on. I put a little thingy in my hair, and I just put a super basic face on.
Yeah.
I got on. I did my video, and I was actually quite real in the video too. I said, "Oh, I'm not really dressed up today. I'm having a bit of a rough day, but here I am, and I've got my little doodad, and here's the information that I want to share with you. Okay, bye." And I was really, like, proud of myself that I did do that.
Yeah.
And I also saw a lot more benefit in the online, because this was a couple of years back. A lot more benefit in the online situation, because if that was in real life, I wouldn't have been able to show up for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really amazing point too, Shelley, is the fact that you were able to do that. And as hard as it is sometimes, and I don't feel like this needs to be about pressure to show up sometimes when you just can't, because sometimes we just can't, and that's really okay too. But I really appreciate you sharing that, because I know that you sort of shut that computer down, and then you went off and you had your cry, and we all go there. We all have to be there at times. And, you know, I've had lots of moments like that recently. I know that homeschooling, I wanted to go into homeschooling with my kids and show everyone I could be super mum. I could run a business. I could homeschool the 4 kids. I could do a webinar in the afternoon to 200 people. I could prepare my next keynote, and I could then show up to do dinner and be present with my family and, you know, stay cool, calm and collected. Day 1 passed and I was like, I failed today. I feel like a failure. I sucked, you know, I didn't do this well. Day 2, I'll do this right. And I got up and I put all that pressure on myself again. I put on the big cloak of, you know, you got to get it right. And day 3, I was a mess. You know, I was not performing on my webinars. Even my team were in the background going, Sam, what, are you okay? Like what's going on for you right now? And I realized that I had to take off some of that pressure and some of that expectation I was putting on myself. No one else was putting it on me. I was just trying to be perfect at it all. And, you know, the pressure was too much. And Greg turned around and said to me, Sam, I'm going to start homeschooling the kids. You're going to focus on work and you're going to stop putting that pressure on yourself because you can't do it all. And when I accepted that, it became so much easier, and I was able to, you know, accept I can't do it all. I can't be perfect. I still wish I could have been the perfect homeschooling mum during that time, but you know, I get that's just, I was not made to teach children. Teach adults, sure. Give me adults any day, not children. So, you know, it's a tough time. I think everyone's going through their own thing, and I just want to put it out there and say that, you know, Shelly, when you show up on camera, you are always so bright and bubbly and out there. And I look at it and I go, wow, you know, I'm not feeling like that today. You know, but it's nice to know that we all go through those challenges and not everything is as it seems.
Just as a point of interest though too, I've actually spoken to this on my business page where people have said to me, oh, you're always so put together and you always have your face on and you're always, you know, like, but I'm not always. And more often than not, when I put my face on, it's to make me feel better.
Yeah.
It's to make me go, okay, that's one more step into coping with the day.
Yep.
You've got yourself together. Let's do.
Yep.
More often than not, when I
Speaking of
don't have my face on, I'm feeling like fabulous. I'm like, I don't need makeup today. I'm fabulous.
Yeah. And so speaking of which, I mean, I'm quite clearly wearing some extraordinarily bright lipstick today, feeling very out there because I knew I was going to be interviewing Shelly. So I had to put on a nice bright color. And so I've just got to put a little plug out there because you guys introduced me to this amazing LipSense that everyone's heard me talking about. It's this stuff that doesn't come off, that you guys do this, you know, thing. And I was like, as if that's ever going to happen. Look, yeah. I was like, what's the brightest color I've got today to wear with Shelly? And then I saw Shelly's wearing her red too. So we're matchy. But we're actually not here to talk about all of these things as much as, you know, I'm really glad that we've had this conversation because, you know, if it just touches or helps one person out there right now that's going, you know what, I'm having a rough day. I want you guys to know we do too. Everyone does. And it's really okay to be having a tough time and feel that. So we can say that and we can move on to what we're actually here to talk about today, which is virtual parties, but more specifically mega parties or multi-host parties. Now, I wanted to pull Shelly in because Shelly's a bit of a whiz at this. She's been doing it for a while now. You are. I've watched you. I've seen her in several of them and she's a bit of a gun, but Shelly's also super organized, or at least that's how she appears. So I really wanted to have a bit of a chat with you about mega parties and some tips you can give people on how to do these and do them well. But before we do, can you explain to everyone what is a mega party?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So a mega party is basically an online virtual party, but it's on a larger scale and it involves multiple distributors inviting in their own customers. So all of the distributors are selling to, playing to, sharing with, and helping the entire customer base. But anything that those customers want to purchase goes back to the distributor that invited them. So it's so much fun because it gets really hyped up, but it's also sharing the workload among all the distributors. And the biggest difference with mega parties is you typically have a prize pool too, which is like a really
Yes.
raw card for the customers.
Yes. So when I saw the very first one that you did, and actually I'm in the middle of one right now with another SeneGence team, just watching what's going on. They've got nearly 1,000 people in there. So like seriously, these things are like virtual parties on steroids. But the thing I love the most about them is, Shelly, we all know that you love to be on camera and you do a really great job of it. And you're a natural, but there are some distributors that feel, and some of our listeners today that feel a little bit less comfortable with being on camera. They're not experienced with demonstrating. Maybe they're new to the business. And guys, this relates to any direct selling company, not just SeneGence. It's just that you guys have been doing this for a little while. But there are a lot of distributors going, look, I don't know how to do it the way someone else does, but I'm afraid to watch someone else because then they might think that, I'm, pinching their ideas, or I'm, it sort of gets that feeling like, should I be watching somebody else in order to learn? And the thing I love about a multi-host party or a mega party is it's about supporting each other. So when Shelly presents, the LipSense, for example, every distributor's customers in that group, Shelly is selling to them all for them. So she's helping them. And on top of that, they're all able to watch how Shelly demonstrates. And then Shelly will watch somebody else demonstrate a product. And that person is selling to Shelly's customer, but Shelly gets the sale. So we're helping each other. We're training each other. We're getting ideas. We're seeing a fresh perspective on how things can be done. And I just love that amazing team effort that goes on in a mega party. And there's just so much support. It just feels like such an awesome, loving environment amongst all of the distributors, because you're all there to benefit and you're all there to help each other. So
100%, yeah. And there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes as well with the support and education and training. And yeah, I love it.
So this is kind of where I wanted to speak to you about today as well, because the behind the scenes is the bit people don't see, but actually that's the bit that takes the most work. So can you tell us a little bit about what does go on behind the scenes, and, maybe a couple of things that are super important for people to consider before they go to run their own mega party?
Oh my God, yes, 100%. So there is a lot of organisation that goes on before it all happens for a successful mega party, and for any virtual party really, but for a successful mega party, because there's so many people and personalities involved, you've got to be really organised, and you've got to be what's the word I'm looking for? Everyone needs to know what's expected of them and what their schedule is, because everyone has a job to do. So setting up an environment for all of those people to come together is really, really important. So we do it in the form of a group, like a behind the scenes group. Yep. And what happens in there the week leading up to the party is a posting schedule gets popped up with everyone allocated their post or their video or their information, their graphic, whatever it may be. And they're allocated a day and a time slot. And from there, you need to make sure that they're aware of that. You can't just put it up and go, here's the schedule, and expect that everyone's going to be on it. You need to be like, okay, Sam, you're on Friday at 12 with blah and Saturday at 1 with blah. Yep. Good with that? Yep, great. You need to be making sure that everyone is on the mark with what's expected of them. Yep. Also, you need to make sure that there's a flow to the whole party, because if there's no flow and it's really choppy and it doesn't make sense, people start to lose interest quite quickly. Yep. Especially online. You need to captivate them pretty quickly. Yep. And if there's a story and a flow and education and fun and engagement, not just sell, that's really important too, because people don't want to come into a big mega fun party just to have buy this. We need to give them a lot of value as well.
Yeah. And you typically do these for around a week, don't you? So they're going for...
Yeah, they vary anytime from like 4 to 7 days.
Yep.
We try not to go for 7 because it gets a bit
drawn out. Yep.
But sometimes we will if it's like for a big event.
And I noticed you guys have a really good mix of posts. You've got prize draws all the way through. So people are kind of like, oh, have I won this time? So they're jumping in to watch those. And then you've got some live demonstrations as well. And I love that. And we were just talking before, we'll talk about this towards the end, but we're talking about some of the crazy things that go on in the background because, man, oh man, some of the stuff I've seen when people do lives and virtual parties and things like that. But as far as the organization goes, you mentioned the posting schedule. You talked about, you know, having a schedule there and then a group behind the scenes where you're communicating with everybody. Tell me a little bit about how you decide with that posting schedule who's doing what, because I noticed not everybody gets given a live, for example.
Yeah, we like to have conversations with everyone beforehand and just ask, do you want to have a deal live? Like, are you comfortable on camera? Would you like to pre-record a video, or do you just not want to be on video at all? Like, what's your comfort zone?
Mm-hmm.
And we talk to them too about what you want to be achieving from being involved with this mega party, because some distributors want to get in and sell and make a ton of money, which you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Some distributors are using it as a learning tool to help with their small customer base, to help them start growing and learning how to do it. And some distributors are just in there just because they just want some fun. They want to be involved.
Community.
They just want to be a part of it. And that's okay too. So having the conversation beforehand is really important. So you've got your lists of who's happy with the video, who doesn't want to, and, you know, all of that. So that's how we kind of decide who goes where.
Love that. And I love that it can be about learning as much as making money or just being part of the community. And guys, if anyone listening has got a team and you've got a few people within that team that are just, you know, they're struggling to fund their feed, or they want that extra support, or you just can't get them to do a virtual party because they're just, their confidence is waning and they're kind of, I've spoken to so many of you guys out there where you're like, oh, I'll do it. I've just got to get the guts up to give it a go. If you've got some people like that, this is the perfect way to get them out of their comfort zone, because they're doing it with a family of people that are there supporting them, and you're all doing it together. So you can be the one that does the live. They can still be a part of the event. They can be learning from you and watching you, and they can be getting the sales, but you're demonstrating it for them. And the other thing I noticed, Shelly, is it seemed that you guys really got certain people to demonstrate certain products they were particularly passionate about. So I remember you doing a demonstration of the night pack, which of course I bought because I was like, I clearly need that. But the reason it was so great was because it was a product you loved and you were passionate about. You felt really comfortable demonstrating it. And that, of course, then meant that other consultants were benefiting from your passion, even if it was not a product that they necessarily loved or used or knew a lot about. But you took a product you knew back to front. You did the demonstration. It helped everyone else. And do you guys do that on purpose? Do you kind of go like, we're going to pick someone here and there and everywhere?
Yeah, we totally do.
Yeah.
And sometimes to push people out of their comfort zones, because you just do, you get comfortable in your little box of your favorite products. Sometimes I'll be like, all right, Sam, you're great on camera. You know it inside out. Time to go and learn about the collagen night pack. And you're going to demonstrate on that. And you'll be like, oh my God, no, I can't. You can. So we do push people out of their comfort zone a little bit and go, you've got all the information, you know how it works, go use it, go pick your 5 points and you got this. But we do choose people based on what they absolutely love. And you can hear it in the team groups and on their business pages, because we all look and we all watch one another.
Yeah.
You can see it, what they continue to go back to, what they continue to rave about, and you can hear it in their voice. You can hear their passion.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, I love this so much. And like, you're talking about that.
Yes. Passion is infectious. I've said this to you guys so many times. Passion is something that it just glows out of you. So when you start talking about the product that you love, not the company tells you to demonstrate, but the product that you use and you love, people know, because you can also start telling stories about it too, because it's something you use every day. And, you know, LipSense is a really good example of that. You know, I've been trying products from all sorts of companies. And, you know, guys, I love all of your companies. I've tried something from everywhere. From SeneGence, I've tried a ton of your stuff, but I love the LipSense. Why? Because I'm a lip licker. And I get on stage and I present, or I do a webinar that goes for an hour. And by the end of it, you know, there is no lipstick left. It's gone. But, you know, I can talk for a day and this stuff is still on. And people are going, how has that happened? I love it. I don't have to worry about it. And it, you know, people get that because, and every time I talk about it, people go, how do I get some of that? How do I find out about it? Because I'm telling a story and I'm sharing that passion, and it's, yeah, call Shelly. So we'll talk about that in a minute, because I want to send people to your page to check out how you do your lives. I think you're a really good example of that person that, you know, gets the camera going in the car and just chats. And I love that. So just back to the schedule for a little minute, because this is a really important part you've mentioned of being organized. And I know I'm not the most organized person. I'm kind of like a fly by the seat of my pants type of a person. But I noticed that you were really strict on, and you showed me a copy of one of those schedules on what goes when, and you've penciled out every day of that, or every minute, I should say, of every day of that mega party. So can you just give us a little bit of a guide on, you know, how often you've got something going up, and how do you decide what that flow is going to be?
I guess it depends on what you're wanting to cover. So using SeneGence as an example, we've got makeup and skincare. So deciding whether the party is going to be makeup only or skincare only, or if you want to do both. If you're doing both, that's a huge thing. There's a lot involved with that. One or the other, you can dial it down a little bit. The one that I showed you was both, and it also involved a game. So it was full on. There was a lot happening, and there was a post happening every hour on the hour for like 5 days straight, which is a lot.
Yes.
In saying that though, that's not the norm, but that was one of our really successful ones, because it was a Halloween theme, and we had this flow and this thing going on with it. But typically, if we were doing just a makeup or a skincare, we would devise a theme. So say like a makeup masterclass, or a skincare, how to, you know, getting started with skin. And from there, working out what the steps would be. So let's say we were doing a makeup one, I would be like, right, what's the first thing we need to know if we want to have nice makeup? Well, we do need a little bit of skincare, so let's start with that. Secondly, we want to think about our base. So, you know, and just go
You move through.
and think about how a normal person, normal, do you know what I mean?
An everyday average mum.
Everyday mum, everyday woman would do her routine and step it out that way, one step at a time. That's how I like to kind of work it, rather than like, let's talk about lips, let's talk about eyes, let's talk about, you know, blush. Oh, wait, let's do foundation. I just think if there's no flow, people get a little lost or confused.
Yes.
And we want them to be confused. We want them to go, oh, I loved that skincare, and I'll have that foundation, and I'll have that thing.
And they work their way through.
And they work their way through. And I think that people can follow it better if it works the way that a normal person, like a normal, I keep saying, you know what I mean? Everyday person would have their routine and work it through that way to make it easy, simple, and fun for them.
Absolutely. And I think that goes for any company. It doesn't matter whether you do health products and supplements, whether you do cleaning products, whether you're doing homewares or decor or candles or perfume. With all of these companies, even essential oils, there's a process that you can walk people through, and, you know, just consider everyday life, you know, start to the end of the day. I saw a really great demonstration actually with Norwex, where they worked you through certain rooms of the house and how you could incorporate the cleaning in your everyday. So when you're in the shower, that you can actually be cleaning while you're in the shower. So that's now done. I've cleaned myself and my shower. I can move on to the next thing. And so, you know, I think that's a really great point. Now, Shelly, I would love for you, and I'm going to put you on the spot here, but I'd love for you to give us your 3 top tips to running a successful mega party. For someone who's thinking of doing it for the first time, what are 3 things that you can suggest that they should consider, or your 3 top tips given your experience?
Yep. Definitely communication. You need to be communicating with all of the people involved. That is imperative. Your posting schedule is super important, because otherwise it's going to get messy and people will forget and it will collapse on itself. So communication, your posting schedule. And the third one, have fun with it. Make it an enjoyable experience for yourself and for everyone. And don't make it like a sell, 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 sell. Make it like, I'm giving you value and showcasing some things that's going to make your life a bit better, whilst having the element of fun to it. So communication, posting schedule, fun.
Yep. Awesome. I love that. So now just finishing up, I just wanted to quickly touch on some craziness, because we have seen, you know, virtual parties, and everyone knows we did the 60 virtual parties in 30 days in March. And so I saw a lot of crazy things go down, and we were having a little bit of a chat before about, hey, Shelly, you know, what's the craziest thing that's happened to you while you were live? At first you were kind of like, oh, no, you know, not all that much. And I said, hang on a minute, I've seen a lot of nudity go down in virtual parties.
Yeah.
And you went, oh, hang on a minute. So tell me about one of your little awkward moments.
Oh, I was doing a live video and there would have been at least 40 people on watching, and my 3-year-old came in naked and shook his willy at us like, you know, the helicopter thing.
Oh, I love it. You know what? It doesn't matter how many videos you do and how experienced you are. Stuff just goes down.
And so many people get upset by it, but it's real life. You just got to shake it off and keep going. Like, don't stop your video. Just keep going and go, oh my God, that was unusual.
That was fun.
Or that's standard Thursday night in our house. Anyway.
Oh, back to the lipstick. Yeah, I love it. So good. So Shelly, if people want to find you, they want to learn a little bit more about SeneGence and this amazing LipSense or any of your other incredible products, or if they want to join one of your mega parties, how do they find you?
I'm on Facebook, shellypease.mua. That's makeup artist, Shelly Pease MUA. Or I'm on Instagram as Shelly Pease.
Oh, do you know that's so funny? I thought MUA was like, mwah.
No, makeup artist.
I thought that's what it was. I was like, that makes so much sense. It's like Shelly Pease, mwah.
No, I'm a qualified makeup artist from before.
Oh my gosh. There you go. You can use that one. I'll let you have that one for free. Mwah. So Shelly Pease MUA on Facebook, guys, check her out. Definitely get in there and have a little bit of a look at the amazing LipSense. If you want something you don't have to touch for the whole day, I'm a big fan. But I'm an even bigger fan of this whole mega party support system. I think if you've got a team that needs a bit of support, you want to try something a bit different, get in and have a go. We're actually going to as well create for this podcast, we'll do a little download link of a template. We'll give you guys a little empty template to sort of fill in the blanks, if you like, for a posting schedule, so that people get a bit of an idea of how they can lay that out for themselves if they're wanting to run their own mega party. So we'll pop this in as a little download for people to use. But thank you so much for joining us today, Shelly. I really, really have loved chatting with you. And this has kind of, as always, gone in a little bit of a different direction to what we expected. But, you know, that's the fun.
That's how we roll.
That's how we roll. So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you sharing your amazing knowledge with us today. And have you got any parting words when it comes to mega parties?
Don't be scared. Give it a go. Legit, they're amazing. Just give it a go. Your first one might be rubbish, and that's okay. It's a learning experience. Keep working at it. Keep trying, because they are legit amazing.
Awesome. And this is coming from someone too who is, you know, in the last few years brand new to direct selling. So I think that I didn't sort of get a chance to talk on that earlier, and we've run out of time now, but I did just want to say that I think that that's such an awesome thing for people to hear, that you don't have to have had decades of experience in this industry to be absolutely killing it. You just have to be yourself, and that's exactly what you show up and do every day. So thank you for that. Thanks so much, Shelly. Great to chat to you today. And don't forget, guys, to jump in and follow her on her Facebook page. But have an awesome day, everybody. We will see you online again next week. Thanks for joining us again for the Direct Selling Accelerator podcast. Don't forget to click on the download, guys. if you want to grab that one, and have an awesome day. And we will see you again next time. Bye for now.